Hello, everyone. Welcome back to No Filter Necessary with your favorite host, Charles Malaga, in the flesh. I hope everyone is having a great weekend and y'all are feeling good going into this next week. Right now, it's the weekend for you, but right now it's Monday for me. And I'm just getting into the week, so you already know, standing on business. Today's episode is going to be crazy. Literally the messiest episode for probably a while. Or honestly, I can't promise that. But today we are talking about how to deal with a friend breakup, or two, or three, or four. Unfortunately, I've been through, I think that many, 4 or 5 of like really close friends that I had a falling out with. Um, and it definitely is super, super, super hard to go through after. I feel like friend breakups are almost like close best friend. You thought you were forever friends. When you have a breakup with them, is worse than anything. Anything. So I am going to share a story that actually involves, it's like the craziest story, but it involves two of my friends that I was super close with. But yeah, just try to um listen and like stay with me because there's a lot of different characters. I don't know if I'm going to say character one, character what's going to happen, but let's just see. But yeah, so this story in particular, I lost two of my closest friends to the worst thing ever. Like you're going to die when you hear this. Um but I just think doing this episode is like me coming to the end and the reality of the friendship breakups. Okay, let's not lie. I got over it so long ago, but I didn't know what to talk about today. I wasn't feeling the topic that I had on the schedule. I'm gonna do it on a different episode, but I just like wasn't feeling it, and I feel like you guys deserve the real tea, the juiciest tea. So, yeah, I think it's just to start off like after friend breakups, it's really hard because, at least in my situation, not this specific story, well, actually, this specific story, but other stories as well that I'm not going to share right now. But for those breakups that I lost that I was super close with, those were people that I talked to almost every day about everything. So it's like you were talking to them forever and then you just weren't. That's the worst part about it. And honestly, I think one of the worst parts about it is you definitely, at least for me, some of them, not all of my breakups, friend breakups, but some of them, I'm like, damn, I wish they were here. There's one in particular, and I know that they're gonna know who it is if they're watching this right now. But there's one in particular where there's stuff that happens, and I'm like, damn, I wish I could be telling them right now. But I don't know. I think everything happens for a reason. And if you have a falling out with a friend or whatever, something like that happens, then just know that it happened for a reason and they were in your life for a reason, either to teach you a lesson or you learn from them or whatever. It was just a great period in your life and things happen and whatever. I don't know. I can't, me stalling because I'm scared to tell the story. Um, no, I'm not scared, but I'm just like, I don't know. Okay, let's just get into it. So it all started freshman year. So, okay, it all really started when I toured my university with my closest friend at that time. I was with her and my mother. It was an amazing weekend. The reason why she was with us because something was going on with her mother at the time, and then her father, I guess, like was working or I don't know. But yeah, so whatever. It was a great weekend. I offered, and you know, whatever. We had fun. We went out. We toured the school together. We had a good time. Um, but yeah, anyways, after that, we decided to, accept and go in the fall. And so, anyways, we were in separate dorm buildings, but we were always together. So, like the first months or weeks or whatever it was of school, we were inseparable. So, it was basically me, that person, their roommate, and then their neighbors. So, it was a group of five of us. And we would just go everywhere together. We wouldn't do anything without each other except like classes. I would always be at their place and we would always be together. They would be at my place. Whatever it was, we were doing everything together. So it was kind of like that group that you have at the beginning of college where you do everything with them, right? So basically, it was me, my closest friend at school. They considered me their closest friend of 3 years. They were a really close friend, but yeah, they considered me their closest friend of 3 years. So let's just preface that part. Yeah, so we were always together. At the beginning, when you have like those like people that you connect with on Instagram or socials before you get to school. So my friend connected with this guy on Instagram, I guess, and they were talking before we got to school. And I guess when we got to school, it was like a thing. They were like a situationship. They started seeing each other at parties. And at the beginning, I got along with this guy. I thought he was super nice. He was chill. We got along, and we would always see each other at parties. We would always see each other like out, and it was chill. But it started when okay, it really all started with this one night. So we were all at a party, right? A group of us. And this guy that she was, or this guy that she was talking to was home for the weekend. So he wasn't at the party, but he drove in. I don't know if he drove or what, but he wasn't drinking. Anyways, so he met us at the 7-Eleven. I remember it was a 7-Eleven. It was right next to my dorm and we were there. It was her roommate, the guy, and me. And she went upstairs to go change or whatever. And we were still down there with him. So it was her roommate, me, and him at the time. And whatever, we were looking for a midnight snack. And we started talking. I don't know how it started, but my friend had been saying the weekend before that she wasn't he wasn't really giving her attention anymore, and that like it was kind of like back and forth, and she didn't know how she felt about the situation. So I thought that being the best friend that I am, I was like, let me investigate a little. And I was like, so how are you feeling about how you feeling about her, my friend? And um I'm just gonna call her Alex, okay? Her name's Alex from now on. So I asked him, I was like, so how are you feeling about Alex? Tell me why. He goes, verbatim, he goes, I don't want to tell you that I don't like her and then you're gonna go back and tell her that. And I'm like, what? So any human being from him saying that would interpret that he doesn't like her, right? So I'm like, oh, so you don't like her in that way? He was like, no, 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 this and that, whatever, like trying to save himself. And we got into like a little argument. I don't know what it was. I honestly forgot exactly what happened, but he said that, right? So after we check out and we just go upstairs, me and her roommate, we go back upstairs to see her, and she's there, and I repeated what he said. I was like, he literally just said, I don't want to tell you that I don't like her, and then for you to go back and tell her that. And she was like, I'm just being honest. I'm there for my best friend. I'm not there for him. We just met him a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. So I was like, I told her what happened. And so she deleted a text on whatever it was. So he saw, like, because I said that, because she found out what happened. So she deleted it. And I guess he found out that Like he saw that she deleted something. So I left at that point, but apparently the next morning I found out, like, I see text from him and he texted, or maybe it was like later that night, I don't know, morning later that night, and he texts me and her because I found out from her in the morning that he was like texting her that I was like trying to like mix up the situation and whatever and this and that. And then I wake up to him literally calling me a liar on text, and he called me a name I cannot remember for the life of me what he called me, but we were just like going back and forth. Or I wasn't going, sorry. He I just saw that he texted me and he was like, why are you filling her head with lies? That's what he said. Why are you filling her head with lies? And I was like, what do you mean? I don't know what you're talking about. I just told her, what he said. So I go to debrief with her later that day, and she is fully on his side, saying that like I'm trying to ruin the relationship and that I shouldn't involve myself. I'm like, hold up. He told me that he didn't like you. And then I went to tell you because we are supposed to be the close friends of 3 years, best friends of 3 years. And I'm a real one, so I'm going to tell you what he said. How am I ruining the relationship? And first of all, this is a situationship. You've known this man for 2 weeks. So, anyways, that happened, and we didn't talk for a week, me and her. And I just thought that was super immature of both of us, honestly. We shouldn't have went that long, but I was trying, like, I didn't think I did anything wrong, so I didn't know what to say. But eventually, since we've been friends for 3 years again, I was like, let me. And I just want to preface also real quick, we've been friends for 3 years, and I was always there for her. Not saying that's a reason, like, that's an excuse, and like, that's why she should treat me like a prince or a princess, whatever the fuck. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, I've been there for her so much. So, like, all this shit really hurt me. But, anyways, so where were we at? Oh, so where the fuck were we at? Wait, fuck. So, sorry. So, after that week of not talking to each other, I was like, okay, I have to go say something. So, I texted her, I was like, can we talk? Because that's what adults do. Thank you. And so we go to talk. We have a one-on-one, and basically I am telling her how I feel, and she's telling me that she thinks that I just involved myself in the situation and that it wasn't my place to say anything, which at that point, honestly, let me just agree with her on that point because I shouldn't have said anything because this whole thing wouldn't have happened, honestly. But I did say something, and like I'm not regretting it. She was feeling some type of way and that weekend, and I was like, okay, let me see how he's feeling. It's not like it's a regular gay best friend thing to do or any best friend thing to do. Yeah, so that happened and we talked, and I guess we finished it with we agree to disagree because she was not seeing my side. Whatever, we had to move on. So we moved on, and then a month or a month and a half, 2 months, whatever, went by. And it was definitely awkward. Like, we both knew it was like different between us for sure. It was for sure different. But, anyways, like, we're hanging out. We were still hanging out and like doing things together. But, anyways, so that happened. After the month or two go by, there was this house party that we went to. And this is where it really like all went down. So, okay. So there was a bunch of people there. And at the beginning of the party, or not the beginning, but towards the middle, like, we were there for a little bit at this point. And so I was there with my two friends from a different university I brought, as well as my group that we're talking about right now. But they came after. They came a little bit after. But so this part they were there for. So there was this girl that's really irrelevant to the story, but her man was my best friend at the time's situationship guy's roommate. So like her man and her man were together in like roommates. I don't know what happened with this girl. Like, I think she had beef with me or something, and I don't know what happened. Like, never really like heard of her until that point. Someone told me that she blocked me on Instagram. It was like such a random like I don't even care, but I felt confrontational at the party. I was like, why did you block me on Instagram? And I was like, are we just doing that nowadays? And we like go back and forth. There was this whole thing, people were recording. Wasn't that big, it literally was not that big a deal. So moving on from that, her man wasn't there yet, and the other man wasn't there yet. They pull up together to the party, and they hear what happened. So my best friend's man comes up to me and goes, I'm like sitting down on the chair, and he's tall as fuck. He's like looking down at me. He's like, go apologize. And I'm like, apologize to who? And he's like, go apologize to her. Like, you shouldn't have done that, whatever, this and that. I forgot what I said at that point, but still, he was like, you shouldn't have talked to her, this and that. I know you're not saying that I should apologize, because he couldn't apologize for calling me oh my god. So I forgot about one part. So the day after the original thing happened that night, I left my cup at his dorm. So I had to go get it in the morning, and I go to get it, and I went with one of our friends in the friend group to the dorm. And sorry, I totally forgot about this part. So I went into the dorm and to go get it, and I said I don't want to talk to him. I have no, like, I don't know this man. I do not really care about him, and I don't want to talk to him. I don't want to like resolve anything. I just want to get my cup. So we go there. What does my friend do? She tries to like say that we should talk, and he goes, we should talk. Oh, both of them were there actually. They were like, yeah, you guys should talk. And I'm like, I'm hungry. Everything's going to close soon. I don't want to talk. And they're like, no, we should really talk. So whatever, I'm pressured into talking. We go in, and he's just giving excuses of why he said this, why he said that, this and that, whatever. And they're like backing him up. I'm like, whose friend are you? I did not want to hear it. I literally do not care. So I'm like, I'm so hungry. The places are gonna close. I have to leave. So I go to leave, and they're like, he's like, you're not even listening. You're incompetent. I'm like, what? You're incompetent. He literally called me incompetent. I was like, oh hell no. So I leave. The food's closed. I am so mad at this point. One of my friends comes down while I'm looking for the food because everything's closed. She comes down, and I'm like, I told you I didn't want to do this. I got really upset with her. I was like, I told you I did not want to do this. I did not want to talk to him. You guys pressured me into talking to him. And now it looks like I'm crazy, which I'm not. Thank you very much. But so that happened. So anyways, going back to the second party or whatever. The first thing wasn't even a party, but this party. So he's like in my face right now, and I'm like, okay. I get up, and I'm like, I know you're not telling me to apologize when you couldn't apologize for calling me incompetent. That's why I had to go back and tell you the story. And he's like, there's only one reason I'm not fucking you up right now. He was saying because I'm gay. That's what he was saying. And I was like, fuck me up, you won't. I was standing on business right there. I got up, I was like, fuck me up, you won't, fuck me up, you won't. Anyways, so that's what happened. And my friends and I, like, we ended up leaving. So whatever, that whole thing happened at the second party where, and she was, first of all, she was standing there not doing anything. She did not care that he was in my face yelling whatsoever, and she did not text me after for a whole like 72 hours, 48 hours, whatever. So after that, I'm like, so are we not talking? What's happening? Because this time I'm not going to go a whole week without talking. I was like, let's talk. So we talk. She fully thinks that it's my fault that I put myself in this situation, what that I was like putting myself into her situation and whatever. She didn't see his side. So we literally I ended up saying I can't be friends with people that are going to pick a man that you met 2 weeks ago over a friendship that you said was your closest friend of 3 years. Like, doesn't make sense. So that was really the end of it. But yeah, so the second part of this story was the other friend. I know that I said there was two friends that I lost in this, close friends. So I had a friend in Florida, and she came to the university to visit me a couple of times and ended up like liking my other friend that I came to that I toured with, my best friend at the time. her roommate. So like they started liking each other and basically ended up starting to date. And I don't even want to go over that whole story, but fast forward, she comes like 6 times at this point, and more it starts to become more of a trip for her girlfriend and rather than for me. So, even though I introduced her to that whole friend group. Anyways, so that whole thing happened and it was like, when was this? Oh, Valentine's Day. So Valentine's Day was coming up and my friend from back home came up for the weekend after Valentine's Day, or weekend before. And she told me originally that she wasn't going to stay in my room because they had her girlfriend's room to themselves for the weekend. I was like, oh, of course, like, have your room. Like, of course. Why would I tell you not to? So I was like, go have fun, this and that. But of course, she came to my room when her flight landed because her girlfriend was in class out of convenience. And of course, she's my friend. So I'm going to be like, come over, whatever. She comes over. She drops all of her stuff off there and we start talking. And had been feeling some type of way about her, like, being best friends, like not best friends, but she was getting really close with my other best friend that I stopped being friends with, that I was just telling you guys a story about, because roommates. So I like understood they're getting closer, but I was like, you said that you don't like her, you think she's homophobic, like all of this stuff. So I want to make sure because I'm not like, if you're friends with my ex best friend that fucked me over a man, like come on. I'm not gonna be having fun with you too, babe. So I was telling her that whole thing and I was just like, it hurts my feelings when you do this and this, whatever. I thought we came into agreement. They ended up going out that night. She ended up showering at my place because I have an individual shower and it wasn't communal showers out of convenience. So she was coming to me. And then as soon as her girlfriend was done with class, she ran over to her. And then, so yeah, so she was just using me for my shower. They went out later. She ended up posting a selfie with my other friend that I literally just, my ex best friend, that I just had like a little talk about. And then they're posting selfies in the club or at the bar, at the restaurant, whatever, like smiling. And it's just her and it's just them together. And it's on their close friends, like they're private. Why are you posting with the my ex best friend that you said you hated? Actually, she said she hated, quote unquote, and that she's homophobic and all of this stuff. And now you're like posting up with her. And it wasn't only one photo, it was 2 photos. So the next morning, I'm like, can you come to my room? Because all of her stuff was in my room. First of all, I wanted her to get it out. Second of all, I wanted to like just ask, like, what's up? Like, why would you post all that stuff? So I call her. I'm like, can you come over? She's giving me a million excuses why. She's literally lying. First of all, she said, well, I'm in bed with whatchamacallit, we're just trying to chill. And I was like, can you just come? I'm trying to talk to you. And then she was like, okay, we're on our way somewhere. Can I come with her? Like her girl. And I'm like, I thought you were just laying in bed. Anyways, so she ends up coming. She walks in, and I go to tell the story. I'm like, she literally doesn't even let me finish my sentence. And this is all the truth. Like, I'm telling every single fact. She comes in, I can't even finish my sentence. She was like, Charles, it wasn't even that big of a deal. I just looked insanely hot in the photo. I don't know why you care so much. All of this stuff. Like she like goes off. I let her go off. This is while she's picking up everything out of my room, out of the shower. Like she has her stuff everywhere, picking everything up. And then she's like, when you're ready to be mature, let me know. And slams my door and leaves. Don't see her for the rest of the weekend. She gets back to Florida, texts me this long paragraph about how she doesn't understand why I care so much. She just looked insanely hot, this and that. I explained back to her how I felt and whatever. We had the whole thing on text, and we had a falling out because of that. So yeah, so I lost her as a close friend and my other close friend that I toured school with. So now at this point, they were friends with each other, and she was dating her roommate. So all of her new friends were a group that I introduced her to. So she was friends with all of my ex close friends. Anyways, So at the end of that, um, I wasn't friends with either of them at this point. And flash forward to now, they're not dating anymore. I don't think any of them are friends anymore. And the other girl is not with that situationship, as I know. So that just teaches you the lesson of do not pick men over your friends because your friends will always be the ones there for you. And it's not the guy that you met 2 weeks ago. Okay? So just letting you know. If you take anything from this episode, it's that your best friends will always be there for you and not the situationship that you met 2 weeks ago. I'm sorry. So, yeah, that's all I have to say about that story. Definitely have so many other situations. Um, but yeah, I'm just, after that whole situation happened, I was just super sad about it because she was my like closest friend, the first story on campus, like, so it was nice having someone there, you know, who I could always talk to or always go to if I needed. But as I said, everything happens for a reason, and I'm not like stressing about it anymore. Like for a while, I was like, damn, like I can't believe that all happened. But now I'm just like, honestly, I've gotten used to it. Like 2023 was literally the biggest year of like friends dropping, but like close friends, not like regular friends. Yeah, I don't know. But I just learned so much in that situation. Um, One being never get involved in anything that your friends are doing with men. Um, Even if you think you're doing the right thing and you're trying to help them, I guess you're not, and it will backfire sometimes. I have other friends that are actually like right minded and would think that I was looking out for them and would love that. Um, but some people are just stuck in their ways, and that's just what happens sometimes. And honestly, like, I'm not even gonna lie, at this point, I'm not even mad about the situation anymore. I think that deep down, I'm sure she knows like the part that she played in the situation and how she could have been better in the situation and known that you always pick your close friends and your best friends over a man any day. So, yeah. So that's another thing would be to talk with your friend before it all blows up in your face. So even though yes, you'd be like, "Oh, Charles, I thought you did that." Like, yes, I did, but I could have did it. I could have had the conversations earlier when I first started feeling it. Um, I think it's important to be super communicative. Your friendships, sometimes you're super close and you like don't want to like make anything, you don't want to step over a line because you're like, how will they react? But if you feel like you have to hold back with the close friend, they're not your close friend. Like just point blank period. Like if you have that feeling with a friend that you can't like tell them how you really feel about what's going on in the situation, then you might want to like rethink the friendship for sure. And in my opinion, it's just like it's really important to have open and honest communication. Um, I think another thing is, I think a lot of times we have the problem of not knowing at the end, like when a relationship ends, if we should have closure or like we don't have to explain ourselves, you know? Like, should we explain ourselves and say something like one last, or should we just like let them go and you know, let life flow and you don't have to like explain yourself? In 2024, I'm not explaining myself. I don't know about you. I think this is the year where if a friendship is, dying out, let it die out. Like, why are you trying to save something that is, not alive? Like, it's one thing to have friends that you don't really like you're not super close with. But if you're super close with someone and you start drifting and all of a sudden like they're not asking for plans, you're not asking for plans, you don't feel like amazing after you hung out with them, and like these little signs start like coming little by little, then you should probably rethink that relationship and just like let it go. You don't have to, you know, always explain everything. I think like I just had another example. I'll tell another story real quick. Um, I'm sure these people are probably gonna watch this, but I'm just telling the full truth, so I don't even care at this point. Um, I've had two friends that together that were my like closest friends. We always went out like together here. They were the other friends that go to a different university. I literally loved them so much, and I honestly still do. Like we had the most amazing moments together. Um, but what happened was, um, like 4 months ago, 5 months ago, 3 months ago, 4 months ago, around there, whatever. Um, it all started like, I just want to preface this with had her pregame and her just like party at the beginning of the night at my apartment. I decorated the whole apartment. I decorated like I ordered balloons. They were silver balloons that said happy birthday like streamed across. Literally stunning. Like I'll put photos if I can without people's faces. Like decorated the whole apartment for her. Had like six or seven or whatever, five, whatever it was, six people of her friends over. Ran that day. She didn't know about this, but her like our other friend, like it was like us three. We said we wanted to get her a cake, and she likes ice cream cake, so we were like, let's get her an ice cream cake. So her friend was supposed to like my our other friend was supposed to get it, but she was super busy. She was like, can you run and get it, please? I'm so sorry. I was like, of course. But the place is far and I don't have a car. So I was like, I don't have a car here. So I was like, let me let me go walk there, get the cake, and I'll Uber back because it can't melt, right? So I go to get the cake, I pay for it myself, bring it back, whatever. Like we just like have a whole moment, have this nice cake, take photos, have all of her friends over, put out alcohol for the party, and then I have a great time. We go out, yada yada yada. The next month or whatever, I don't even know how long it was my birthday. And to preface, I did go away the weekend of my birthday and I did go away the weekend before my birthday. But the week before that, like during the week, and the week before my birthday weekend, I was there, and the week after I was there, and the weekend I was there. I was there for so long. So, um, on my birthday, these people like wish me like happy birthday. One of them, I have a bad memory, so I don't know if she did, but I'm pretty positive. But anyways, forgetting that, both of them did, I'm sure. And then, anyways, what I was like super heartbroken about was neither of them was like set up anything for my birthday. Like, let's have dinner, let's do lunch, let's go out, like let's have your friends over at my place. Nothing, which was pretty like upsetting because like I did that whole party for her. I got her a cake. I, got her a gift, and I don't do things for people like for things in return. I don't. But this is like an extreme that I just have to point out. Like I did all of that and like nothing for my birthday, like not even like a coffee date. That whole like goes by. Like they say they've been busy, whatever. We need to do something. I think they said once, or one of them said it. And then I was planning to go back home to Florida, and my friend was like, I have a gift for you. I want to, like, can I bring it today? I was like, of course, I'm here. Come by anytime. It like 7 o'clock rolls around or something like late. And she's like, I'm so sorry I couldn't make it. I've been so busy. Can I come sometime this weekend? I was like, of course, I'll be here all weekend. Come anytime. And she's like, okay, I will, of course. I don't hear from her for the whole weekend, maybe once, but I don't think so. For the whole weekend, another week goes by, don't hear from her. I go home Another 3 weeks, don't hear from her. I come back, still nothing. Never got the gift, no birthday plans, nothing happened. So, yeah, I was pretty disappointed. We have literally never talked since like that weekend that she said she wanted to give me a gift. I do not know what happened. Obviously, they were feeling some type of way before because you wouldn't just like let this friendship go. But I don't know why. We were totally fine before. So that's like the one situation where like I didn't even feel like I needed to text. They made it clear that, they didn't want a relationship, and it's saddening, but like what am I going to do about it? I'm not going to cry about it because one, I'm so like I'm literally, oh, like I'm okay with it at this point. I have my close friends that are like my number ones that I'm I'll never have to worry about them leaving. So, I'm just like, you have your sisters and your brothers, like, of your friends, and then you have your close friends. So, whatever. Things happen. It definitely happened for a reason. Honestly, I'm glad that that's over because that's such bad energy that whole thing happened. And I never got like a text or anything after that. Let me get comfortable. So from like all of these situations, I've just learned so much, and that's really where the self growth comes in. I think that if I didn't have these situations, then I wouldn't grow from any of them. Like if every situation, every relationship, every friendship was perfect, then how would you find better relationships, better friendships, learn from them? So I don't regret anything. It is a crazy story, and I do often feel like I'm always asking myself, what am I doing wrong in this situation? Because I want to be self-aware always. Like if I am doing something wrong in this situation, let me understand it, let me think about it, and let me get back to you. Just kidding. Let me, apologize and be responsible for what I said or what I did. But in these two stories, honestly, do not know what I did. Genuinely, like, who would pick a man of 2 weeks over your best friend for 3 years, no matter what happens? And then who would not try to make any birthday plans for you after you literally fucking rented out your apartment for their birthday and had all of their friends over? It's just like, what did I do in that situation? I guess we'll never know because I guess we'll never know. Um, I just encourage all of you to focus on your self development and your self improvement when anything like this happens in life. Like, whether, like, no matter what you leave in life, whether it's a job, a friendship, family, an experience, like, know that you can always get something out of it and you can always learn from it because no matter what, there is something there to pick up on and to learn. I just think it's important to always keep moving. A friend breakup is not the end of your life. It's really not. You will get through it. Like, I'm here to tell you I'm a survivor. And I don't want you guys to stress about that whatsoever. It's important to acknowledge the situation. Don't keep yourself trapped in a friendship that is not serving you whatsoever. Friendships are supposed to be two-way streets, not one-way streets. So if you are always putting in your all and they're never giving the same energy, be done with it. Why would you stay in a relationship, no matter what relationship it is, if you're not feeling the same energy back? There's literally no point. Um, yeah, and especially if you're getting hurt, why would you stay in a relationship if you're getting hurt? Like, you hurting for a little bit after you end a relationship is so much better than staying in a relationship and having no respect for yourself and letting someone have the power over you to continue to hurt you, and you just like let them. Like, I will never understand why people do that. I mean, I'm sorry. I understand why people do that, but I just don't want to believe it. I will just never understand why people can't get over it. That's what I don't understand. But yeah, just just know that you will always get through it. Friendships are a roller coaster, and I know I've been saying like, "Oh, don't let yourself get hurt" so many times, which is true, but friendships are still relationships. So yes, there are going to be times where you guys have fights or you're not getting along or things happen. It happens all the time. But real friendships don't let little things end the relationship, especially after 3 years. Like, you know, so I just think that you guys have to know what's best for yourself. Don't let people walk over you. Be aware of the situation, what's happening, and speak up if you feel like you need to speak up. But if you are constantly having to speak up and needing to defend yourself, or feel like you have to say that you feel hurt or whatever constantly, be done. Just let it die. Don't have to write 10 paragraphs on why this friendship's not working. Just be done. That's all you have to do. I just want to emphasize that healing is different for everyone. Don't put too much pressure on the healing process. It is hard to go through a breakup with a friend, especially, but you will get over it. The grass is greener on the other side, always, 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 no matter what. You just have to have a positive attitude and manifest the right relationships and healthy relationships. If you are always saying, "Oh, I always connect with the wrong people. I'm always friends with people that don't get me, or I'm always friends with people that are hurting me, or I'm always friends with people that are not motivated. I'm always friends with people that are lazy." Stop saying you're always, always, always doing this if you don't want to do that. Start telling yourself you are worthy of healthy relationships, that you want to have friends that are like-minded, that are reaching for the stars, that are motivated, that are up and at 'em and supporting you to your fullest. I can tell you right now, I'm not going to name them obviously, but I can name you my friends that I 100% feel like they would never talk behind my back and never, have bad energy. And I can tell you my friends that, I question sometimes if I can tell them everything because I don't know if they're evil eyeing or not. You just have to be intuitive and learn how to be intuitive. Maybe I'll do an episode on that because I know I'm super intuitive, and I get that from a lot of people. It's just like maybe you're born with it. I don't know. But yeah, it's really important to just feel the relationship and the situations out before you make any rash decisions. I don't know. I think that's some great advice to end this episode on. It's kind of late. I'm tired. I'm trying to go to bed. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode and you're enjoying this podcast. It's only going to get better from here. I don't know if I said that in my last episode, but I'm honestly so excited. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I just love it. I'm going to Hawaii soon, and I'm wondering if I should bring the mics there or not. So let's see. We'll see about that. I don't know. But yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in today. I had a great time again talking with you guys. Just a reminder, we are on every Sunday. So come say hi on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube. I have all of my full episodes there with video as well on Spotify. So come join me. I'm excited to grow this community, and I'm excited to share more of my knowledge with you guys and continue gossiping. Let me know what you guys want to hear. You can follow me on socials, Instagram, Charles A. Malaga, TikTok, the Charles Malaga, or at nofilternecessary on everything. Please let me know what you guys want to hear. If there's anything in particular, I will see you guys next week. Have a great week. Be productive. Bye.